25 years of media excellence. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Kokomlemle. It's a digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across the country, including Radio Wa in Wa, Bando FM in Bando, A1 Radio in Bolgatanga. We are around the world at myjoyonline.com. In this edition, an agenda to build a robust social and economic infrastructure with the aim of delivering a truly developed Ghana for all. NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama outlines the vision behind his party's manifesto to be adored later today.
If we settle for good enough, we settle for a slow death of our very soul and our pride as a country. I ran for president because I want to leave a legacy, a solid infrastructure with 100% access for all in all sectors.
We'll hear from the NDC governance analyst and potential voters. Wale Wale Municipal Hospital in the Northeast region suspends operations following a power outage which has worsened the humanitarian situation brought on by Bagri Dam spillage. In our COVID Impact series this week, we bring you the story of a young woman who was pushed to the limits after she lost her job in the wake of the outbreak.
Going from one month to another, I had it in mind to do that, but upon second thoughts, I realized that home is home. I can easily go home.
In sport,
we'll hear from Ghana's first boxing world champion DK Poison on how he achieved success despite bypassing boxing's amateur ranks.
And as the Multimedia Group Limited continues its 25th anniversary, we'll bring you the untold stories of some of Joy News' longest-serving journalists.
And the winner is Seth Kwame Boateng.
When I'm on vacation, I'm Seth Kwame Boateng reporting from Love FM. When school reopens, I'm Seth Kwame Boateng reporting from Cape Coast.
Multiple award-winning journalist Seth Kwame Boateng is in the seat today and later. And as the 2020 National Science and Maths Quiz returns tomorrow, we'll tell you what to expect in this year's competition. We have details plus entertainment right here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. And this is your election headquarters. This time, the NDC flag bearer John Mahama says his party's manifesto is a pledge to build a robust social and economic infrastructure for Ghana. The official outdooring of the party's programs and policies is expected to cut through a wide scope of issues which will inform the choice of electorates in the December polls. Key amongst the policies expected to be announced are the Agenda 1 Million Jobs, the Big Push, and Operation Sting. Ahead of the launch today, Manuel Kranting in the following report highlights some of the promises expected to feature in this document.
I've learned useful lessons and I'm coming back to you together with my party, the NDC, with what will be a practicable strategy for laying a solid foundation for the transformation of our country.
16 days after the launch of the NPP's manifesto, the biggest opposition party, National Democratic Congress, will finally outdoor its manifesto today. This is after postponing its earlier August 31 date. The party's National Communications Officer, Sami Jemfi, has been rejecting claims that the launch of the manifesto was deliberately delayed for copying from the ruling party.
We are within the party's 2020 campaign timetable, so it hasn't taken long at all.
From extension of the 3-month maternity leave to 4, cancellation of double track in senior high schools, to payment of customers of collapsed financial institutions, Joy News checks reveal over 20 major promises have been made so far by the flag bearer of the party. On infrastructure, the party is proposing what it calls the Big Push.
It's going to be an injection of $10 billion to dualize our roads, to complete the 200 senior secondary schools, to finish all the hospitals that we were building.
The NDC will also legalize the commercial use of motorbikes as a means of public transport.
Okada is a reality. It has come to stay. You can't stop it.
John Mahama and the NDC have promised free primary health care under a one-time premium. They will also scrap corporate income tax for small-scale businesses. The party looks to mount an anti-corruption crusade under the code name Operation Sting.
Now the news desk report. Now ahead of the launch, NDC flag bearer John Mahama has been highlighting the vision behind the document. He explains it is a quest to build a truly developed Ghana. Listen.
To prosper and thrive, we need fundamental change. We need to set our standards and expectations far higher than good enough. If we settle for good enough, we settle for a slow death of our very soul and our pride as a country. I ran for president because I want to leave a legacy, a solid infrastructure with 100% access for all in all sectors. With this legacy, we can build a truly developed Ghana on a par with other middle-level nations or advanced nations. I know how to do it. I've been part of it already and already accomplished a lot in this area. And since I know how to do it and the current government doesn't, I feel I have a moral duty to ask for a second term. This is not about me. It is about Ghana. It is about Ghanaians. This is what this manifesto is about.
NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama. Now we'll hear from political analysts shortly, but we've been speaking to some Ghanaians on the streets of Accra on their expectations. While some want their problems addressed, others want the party to be upfront about what it failed to achieve in the past and realistic goals for the future.
We will compare and contrast because as of now, the two parties are, telling stories.
NDC has nothing to give us. NDC has nothing. Because since their 8 years that has passed by, I've not even seen what NDC have done that Ghanaians are happy about it.
Okay, if they will realize their mistakes and then correct their mistakes, I think it will be better.
Let's come back to tell us the truth as in what they did not or they were not able to do before.
They should do the right thing by telling us what they will be able to do. Ghanaians, they want comfort.
Now joining you to our election headquarters, we're bringing you live coverage of the NDC's manifesto launch from the University of Professional Studies, UPSA. Head of our political desk, Evans Mensah, joins me with more. Evans, what are our listeners and viewers to expect in terms of our coverage of the manifesto later this evening?
I mean, expect a pretty detailed coverage of this, in depth, with some great analysis. Again, we are partnering Imani. Imani, we all know, has carved a niche for itself when it comes to manifesto. With your input into this. We'll start by looking at some of the promises we've had already, just go over them in terms of expectations. We want to see at the end if these promises that John Mahama had made on his campaign tour actually reflects in the blueprint. And then post, we'll do some great analysis. We'll do some historical trends, analysis of Greater Accra. If you pay attention, you realize that the NDC is giving a bit of attention to Greater Accra. They did outdoor their running mate here. They are launching their manifesto here. We understand there's a particular reason for it. We'll tell you why. Stay with us here on the election headquarters later tonight from 4.
You know why you need to choose at the election headquarters for this coverage. Now, with just 92 days or so to the December polls, politicians across the divide are wasting no time to ensure their messages are being heard, especially by the grassroots. To bring you a wrap of the major political happenings this weekend.
It was a battle for the hearts and minds of the people of two regions in the north, the Upper West and Northern regions, by candidates who were sons of the soil. NDC flag bearer John Mahama took his campaign to the Upper West region, whilst Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia headed to the Northern region.
I know that when it comes to a matter of trust and it comes to a matter of track record comparison, there's no doubt in my mind that NDC will win the 2020 election.
The SADA program under John Mahama was a monumental and inexplicable waste of taxpayer resources.
In Kumasi, wife of the Vice President, Samira Bawumia, also seized the opportunity to lash out at the former president.
NDC came to power and the power crisis came to live with us.
And speaking of wives, former First Lady Nana Akufo-Addo Rawlings was acclaimed as flag bearer by members of her party, the National Democratic Party, at its National Delegates Congress.
In fact, each member within the NDP should be able to identify a good person that can get into parliament.
The issue of tribal politics took center stage this weekend after President Akufo-Addo called out his predecessor for sharing comments that describe the Ejapa deal as an Achim Sakawa project.
The comment made by my opponent, Achim Sakawa people, is completely unacceptable.
This was Mr. Mahama's response.
He was an opposition leader who called presidents before him anything you can imagine, including Professor Doolittle. He's a president who has called his critics naysayers and Jeremiahs.
Vice President demanded an apology from the NDC flag bearer, insisting his posture was alien to their northern culture.
We will continue to call on John Mahama to apologize unreservedly for what this election is going to be fought on our rest, not on tribal.
So that was the political atmosphere this weekend. Now, election years, especially a few months to the election day, are often characterized by road traffic accidents, which are usually fatal. The National Road Safety Authority says the COVID-19 pandemic has drastically reduced mass movements or political activities. They have still put in place measures to reduce crashes. Northern Regional Director of the authority, Alexander Ayeta, says they are involving political heads in the strategies they are putting together.
We are working hard to see to that before December, we would have even also had a chance to talk to the political leaders to see how, anytime there's a rally, how do they convey their people? How do they organize timing of transport? How do they at least arrange so that when they are driving a convoy, how do they give that kind of that space between the front car, the lead car, and the timing of a movement, the number of people in a car?
Northern Regional Director of the National Road Safety Authority, Alexander Ayeta. And that's it for the election headquarters. For now, here on the Midday News, we head to the Northeast region now, where the Wale Wale Municipal Hospital has suspended operations following a power outage that hit some parts of the West Mamprusi municipality yesterday. The region is already facing a humanitarian situation as floods from the Bagri Dam spillage have rendered many homeless, cutting off communities and submerging many farms. The situation is further worsened by the inability of NADMO to extend support to displaced persons due to heavy rains. Let's take you live there now and speak to correspondent Ilyasu Tanko about the situation. First off, Ilyasu, tell us what the situation regarding the floods is as we speak.
Well, the situation continues to get worse. The flood waters are still coming this morning. We have gotten reports from the regional NADMO service that the regional capital is also flooded. And the rains are still coming. We also understand the Cherpone area, especially the Cherpone-Yendi Road has been cut off, and several other communities. As we speak, several hundreds of farmlands have been submerged. Dozens of people have been displaced. Many infrastructure, especially road networks, have been cut off, and dozens of residents trapped in their communities.
So we have the Bagri Dam spillage as well as heavy rains, and we are told about power cuts. Does it have any relationship? Did they explain?
Yes, in some communities, there are reports that the situation have knocked out power. And as we speak, the municipal capital, Wale Wale, some part has been without power since yesterday, and that has affected many activities, including the municipal capital. As we speak, right now they have suspended most of their services, including emergency services. And an official told me that yesterday nurses were compelled to use their mobile phones to conduct surgery, and they had to transfer or refer two emergent cases, which were pregnant women, to Bolga in the Upper East region.
And in all this, I'm sure you got to interact with some victims, especially with the suspension of the main hospital. What have they been telling you?
Well, I saw many clients, especially pregnant women there, who had come to get their NHIS card code, and then others who have also come for services. I spoke with one man who said he came from Biale in the northern region. He has been there since 6 a.m. Authorities are telling him to go and come back when power is restored.
That's our Northeast Regional Correspondent, Ilyasu Tanko. Back here in Accra, the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology has assured agitation by the CSIR staff over plans by a private developer to demolish their bungalows in Labone is receiving the attention of the Chief of Staff and will be resolved. Last week, we heard staff of the council demonstrating after a private developer moved equipment to demolish the bungalows. The demolition team retreated after some confrontation with staff. Responding to questions at the sitting of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng said the ministers of lands and housing are also looking into the issue.
We are now trying to war off the pace. As you know, that land was for government, and it went to Vodafone when they purchased the property. But now we've been able to secure the land, and we are going on. We have also instructed CSR to war off the land at Pokuase, and the estimate is that it will cost about $1 million and the equivalent. So that's a lot of money. So we are trying.
Now, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, currently before the Public Accounts Committee. My colleague Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins us with more. So, Joseph, we also understand there were issues about the CSIR headquarters not having functioning fire extinguishers. Tell us more.
So it all boils down to absence of funds. They've not been able to do the necessary insurance for their head office building as well, apart from the fire extinguishers building issue. They also complain that also they don't have funds to wall a lot of the lands that are there, which is how come they are seeing a lot of encroachment. And generally, it boils down to the fact that their funding to be able to do their work is actually not being given them, apart from salaries being paid, which members of the Public Accounts Committee say should change going forward, and that there is the need for government to invest a lot more in various research.
Well, which other institutions are we expected before the sit-in?
Today, mainly the officials from the Animal Research Institute as well as the Oil Palm Research Institute, the Water Research Institute are all appearing before the committee. At the level of the CSI as well, when it comes to one of the institutes, there were concerns about vehicles that had been auctioned, including pickups that had been auctioned to the tune of 2,500 cedis and all, which the auditor did not flag, and the indication is that the committee will be probing all of those before the close of the day.
Now, parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gakpo. Now, family allegedly attacked by a young man believed to be mentally ill is demanding police take steps to end the persistent attacks which have lingered for more than 3 months. According to the family, several reports to the East Legon Police Command have yielded little or no results. The latest assault, which occurred Sunday, has left the family terrified. This meant a member of the family took to Facebook to register their displeasure. There's more in the News Desk report.
In a Facebook post yesterday, Nanama, a member of the family persistently attacked by the young man, said the family has made a total of about 6 complaints to the Ghana Police Service. None of them, she alleges, has resulted in the arrest of the perpetrator. According to her, the gentleman was arrested on one occasion but was later left to go scot-free with the suspicion that he was mentally ill. But the attacks are yet to stop. In a viral video that accompanied the post, the young man is seen trying to take off the shirt of a young lady as he assaults her on their compound.
Look at me.
He later overpowers the young lady, takes her down, strangling her in the process. The young man later takes a peek in the lady's panty and then lets her go. Nanama hides in the room, secretly recording the action. He then starts assaulting the lady as he threw a chair at their mother. This angers Nanama as she leaves her hiding place, headed to the police station. Nanama adds that the police took her statement after the latest attack and told her to come back today.
Now let's get some details from the police. We're joined on the phone by the Legon District Police Commander, DSP Emmanuel Essentiofori. We're grateful for your time. So we've heard that 6 complaints have been lodged at the East Legon Police, but no action has been taken. What exactly is the situation?
This is the Legon Police Station, and in as much as I'm concerned, 6 complaints have not been lodged. To speak to the fact, can you confirm the date the video was taken?
Well, so we are still following that. That's how come we're coming to the police. But has this issue been brought to your attention at all? Because according to AMA, 6 complaints have been lodged. At one point, there was an arrest, but nothing happened. He was let go, and it's still terrifying the family.
I think it would be very unfair if I'm to speak to the video, and it's way outdated, and I'm supposed to speak to it as though it happened yesterday. And then that is what has been posted on the social media. Anyway, so just by the way, a complaint was lodged for the Legon Police Station somewhere during the COVID period, somewhere in April, regarding a gentleman who was disturbing a neighbor. So these are 2 people who share a piece of land. half of it. So they are co-owners of a piece of land, of a plot of land, and so the issue of the fact that they are tenants is neither here nor there. When the case was reported, the police effected the arrest of the gentleman. After 2 days, the parents of the suspect, we are saying is insane, brought out documentation that funds have been receiving treatment from the psychiatric hospital. Police aided in sending the patient, we are calling suspect, to the psychiatric hospital. And after he was treated, there was calm for a long time. Apparently, on Friday, this very past Friday, the complainant came to me, and that there was this was the issue again. And then I raised a police patrol team together with one of them. They went for his arrest, and then on reaching the scene, the gentleman had been given medication and was so drowsy, and we needed him to be under the medication that was being properly given to him.
So as far as you're concerned, an action has been taken, and we're hoping that this will not happen again.
A lot of actions have been taken. It is very disheartening when things are made to be posted in the social media as though the police is not working. The police is poised to protect life and property at all times, including the night. And we noting very well that this issue didn't happen after Friday.
Okay.
I would have been given a call.
Okay. We will leave it here for now, but this is a matter that we'll continue to interrogate. That's the Legon District Police Commander, DSP Emmanuel Santiofori. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We've been looking at an agenda to build a robust social and economic infrastructure with the aim of delivering a truly developed Ghana for all portions of the NDC's manifesto to be outdoor later today. And much later, as the Multimedia Group Limited continues its 25th anniversary, we'll bring you the untold stories of some of Joy News' longest-serving journalists.
And the winner is Seth Kwame Boateng.
When I'm on vacation, I'm Seth Kwame Boateng reporting from Love FM. When school reopens, I'm Seth Kwame Boateng reporting from Cape Coast.
I'm dying to hear the story of your multiple award-winning journalist, Seth Kwame Boateng, and much later also. As the 2020 National Science and Maths Quiz returns tomorrow, we'll tell you what to expect in this year's competition.
New trophy for the National Science and Maths Quiz is going to St. Augustine Senior High School.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. It's time for sport. Hansman Sando is here.
Hi, Mifa. And today marks the beginning of our build-up to DK Poison's 45th anniversary of our next WBC featherweight title. And my colleague Nathaniel Lato has put together a hotline documentary dubbed The Boxing Loan. It captures the circumstances around the loan he advanced to the Republic of Ghana from his fight purse for the purchase of mackerel for the people of Ghana. In this documentary, DK Poison makes some key highlights, including the fact that he hardly had an amateur career.
I told them I wanted to fight. That's okay. They match me with somebody. I didn't know whether it would be amateur or it was professional. But suddenly they said, okay, be prepared. You are going to fight this boy. The boy was young, famous Latte. You are going to fight for 6 rounds. That's where I started, and I won.
Wow.
I didn't fight.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
Wow. And
that is my maiden fight. I won. Continue winning until the time I reach a limelight. I've been telling people that I'm destined with boxing. Honestly, nobody told me the basic. I started my own board on our backyard, and I stuff with sand, short and that's where I started it.
Well, he was destined to be a pro boxer, DK Poison. There you can catch more in that documentary, The Boxing Loan. And last Saturday, Kwame Eugene Rockstar was here. He emerged victorious against Kojo Sheldon beating him in the Joy Sports FIFA 20 face-off.
Charlie, I'm used to winning. I'm not like him.
Oh.
But what's your story with FIFA?
I've had my ups and downs. I remember the last time I played FIFA Live like this, it was with Kiddy. And I was telling everyone they will be on the did this, and so I told myself, you know what? If this thing happens to come together again, I'm not going to allow anybody to beat me because.
So Rockstar Kwame Eugene there, and watch out for the next edition of the Joy Sports FIFA Face-Off.
It could be me. Thank you very much, Hans Vincent, with the latest from the world of sports. Now, it's almost 6 months into the arrival of COVID-19 in Ghana. While some have succumbed to the virus, there are many others who the virus has rendered helpless and dejected. One such person is Mensima, who's fled Accra to live in the central region town of Kisi because she's lost her job, finds it difficult to pay her rent, and virtually sleeps on an empty stomach every day. On Joy News Agenda today, correspondent Richard Kojonyako tells the story of Mensima.
I was teaching at the same time, doing some minor jobs that was earning me money to be able to take care of myself and then my child.
Mensima, not her real name, used to live and work happily in Accra. But this was before the arrival of COVID-19. She's lost all her 2 jobs she had to COVID-19.
I was able to survive through what I was earning. And I'm a single mother though, but I was able to take care of my child's needs and myself. See, when you are earning enough, you don't need to struggle in paying rent, taking care of your child's needs, and then other stuff. But when you are going through issues, these things become a problem for you.
That's our Joy News Agenda for today. Now, 20 years ago, he couldn't have been sure what the future held. Today, he's one of the biggest products of Ghana's biggest media firm. Seth Kwame Boateng, a multiple award-winning journalist and documentary filmmaker with Joy News, first joined Multimedia as a receptionist in 2003. In a series of stories looking at Joy News' longest-serving journalist as part of our 25 years anniversary, my colleague Justice Bedu tells the Seth Kwame Boateng story.
From grass to grace. This is the Seth Kwame Boateng story.
I'm the last of 17 children. I went to Amankweti MA, Ajisu LA, and Kumasi Anglican Secondary School.
Seth had his first break on radio as a level 100 student at the University of Cape Coast, after years of working at the front desk of Love FM.
That was 2003. A guy stabbed his girlfriend. The girl died, and I remember calling Love FM. I called Love FM Saeed. He asked, if we put on radio, can you report? I say yes, I can report. So that time Love FM had 1 o'clock news and in the afternoon. So they put me on the 1 o'clock news. I reported. In no time we vacated, and when I went back to Love FM, I went back to the reception. So that morning I went very early. That morning Saeed and said, follow me to the newsroom.
Joy FM's Seth Kwame Boateng is the GJA's 2014 Journalist of the Year.
Today, everything is possible, and that's the Seth Kwame Boateng story. And the 2020 National Science and Maths Quiz Competition returns tomorrow after COVID-19 forced organizers to postpone it. Well, I'm looking forward to that because definitely this year is for Ola girls. But Masol and Baba.
You said this last year, Mama.
I said it last year. Everything is possible. This year it will happen. You know, he is the man in charge when it comes to reporting for NSMQ. Tell us more. What are we to expect?
Well, we are starting the preliminary rounds tomorrow, and then the first contest is actually going to be between St. Thomas Aquinas and Evans Men's School. This time around, they are starting from the prelims.
They weren't seated.
They were not seated.
I mean, they can't be seated. They will lie seated.
So they are starting from the prelims tomorrow. St. Thomas Aquinas versus St. Mary's SHS Colegono, and then Ganata Senior High School. Okay. That contest is at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll
I'll give you a UN award. Okay? Becky,
yes, we can't stop talking about UN awards. But Shatta Wale has been giving us insights into exactly what happened with this award.
So the whole issue is that Mr. UN, Mr. Adjunkese, since this MP3, what the MP3 na 7 years ago na mega no, and the MP3 no call obedi ho me amela. But like, you know, along the line, like, you know, Yanti Mr. UN in Cambium, and Nigga just went into coma for 5 years. And so no, sorry, January, just this January. You know, he just woke up this January, and he says, I heard when he woke up, he was like, oh, let me just see, you know, but they reply my mail. Nigga, I could share the mail, no. As you go watching mail, but they no reply the mail. You know what I mean? Just this January. So, as you see, he just call Belamundi where he tell Belamundi, say, this is the matter where it happened. And this is the story. Like, if you don't believe it, ask the guy. He's there.
We will definitely ask the guy.
Was he there?
No,
he's part of the organizers.
I don't know. But that's what Shatawale is speaking in a Facebook Live yesterday, explaining to us exactly. I'm not sure. I mean, that's what he meant.
I'm told there's a press conference coming up later.
We're definitely looking for it. But you know that the UN also has de-associated themselves from this particular awards, and I'm told that the police are actually looking for this UN guy.
We'll see how it goes. Becky, thank you. Later at 1, we have business.
Well, MFAT, the Registrar General is opening the door for fresh claims from investors of the Defunct Fund Management Funds as it prepares to commence payment from the last week of this month. We have the details coming up at 1.
With Amelie. Now, Arrival Live Tip for today brought to you by Toyota and Bedrock Insurance. All lights and indicators, windscreen wipers, brakes, steering, exhaust system and tires should be carefully examined for faults periodically to ensure they are in good condition. And after the break, we have Living Word. A change of season can potentially be disruptive, but it also comes with new opportunities. How do you find them? How do you know when to do what? Find out in the concluding part of the new series. It's a new season on Living Word with Pastor Mensel Tibil. Right after this, I am MFA Pau. Thanks for your company.